Hey everybody, Sean here, and I hope you're doing well. Yes, you read that title correctly, so let's jump right in. And special thanks to Brother John Elving for this clip. He's a brother in Canada that's fighting the good fight and exposing a lot of the nonsense that is going on in Canadian churches. So check out his site if you haven't already. 2 Peter 2:3 tells us about false teachers making up stories. And although this guy doesn't seem to be selling anything or trying to profit, he is going to tell what I can only call a whopper of a tale about God turning him into an ant to warn the queen. Could God have done that? Sure, he can do anything. But that would most likely be a story I think I would only share with a couple of very close friends, because I think most people would not believe it and maybe not trust me as much in the future. So here it is.
There's one year we got a notice that the city was going to come and they were going to dig up our sidewalk and they were going to widen it out. They had to do some street work, so they were going to widen it out. As soon as I got that notice, my first thought was, we had an ant, kind of an anthill family on the side of our lawn that was right on the edge of the sidewalk that I had a hard time disrupting it. I kind of got to be friends with the ants there. So when we got the notice that the city was going to come, they told us the date, got the notice that they were going to rip that whole thing up. One of my first thought was, I don't want the ants to get hurt. I know, I'm not weird. So one evening when I got back from work, I went outside and I went down to where the ants were, and I just kind of sat on the sidewalk and I said, little guys. And I didn't have the notice with me, but I talked to them and I said, guys, I got a notice. In about 2.5 weeks, the city's going to come. They're going to rip this thing up. Your home, all that you've built here in this beautiful, it's going to be destroyed. Some of you are going to get hurt. Some of you are going to die. Guys, we need to move to another spot. I said, we have a flower bed that is up on top. There's rocks around it. If you will just follow me, I will lead you up. Guys, I will lead you up to where the rocks are, the flower. I'll let you develop inside of there. You take your home. I know you got to relocate, but you'll live. I can't tell you how disappointed I was. Because while I was talking and sharing my heart of concern with these little ants, they kind of kept scurrying around like I wasn't even there. It felt like they didn't hear me. So I went back inside and I said, Jane, that didn't go so well. I said, my hope was to be Moses and to lead these ants up the hill and put them in a new land for them. They did not listen to me, Jane. She looks at me. I think that's where she wrote down 911 beside the phone, just in case, right? I got to tell you, I was thinking about it, went to work the next day, came to work, was praying about it. I went out there the next evening, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to take a little one of Jane's little garden shovel things. I'm going to go out there, and I'm going to go and just start digging around their thing and just kind of disrupt them and let them know that, you know what, you're going to have to move. And I was out there, and my motivation was to motivate them, and I got over here because they had to go up the hill, and I wanted to start stirring them, and I thought I could just push them away. The craziest thing was, as I started doing this, the ants came out in droves, and they started attacking my shovel. I was there to help them. I was there to move them. I was there to help them live, and they thought I was there to kill them. They thought I was attacking them. They came and they started attacking my shovel work. I pulled my shovel out. I went in the house and said, Jane, that didn't go so well. She looks at me. My heart was for me to save my little ants and to put them in a promised land. That was my heart. I went to work the next day. I could not get my little ants because the day was getting closer. I could not get my little ants off my heart. I said, God, what am I going to do? That day when I was working, God gave me an idea that I never thought about. It was amazing. That evening when I got home, I had supper, put the kids to bed with Jane. I went back out there and I said, okay, God, do it. And in that moment, God changed me into an ant. As an ant, I climbed into that anthill and I found the queen of the ants. I kept asking, I said, which way do I go? They go turn right, left, turn right, it was like crazy. But anyway, I got there, got to the queen ant pile, and I walked inside and I said, I have a message, an urgent message for you. I was speaking ant. Back off, Chad. I got into the very center and I went to the queen and I said, I got a message for you. And I told the queen exactly what came on that notice. The queen heard me. She goes, I cannot thank you enough. That evening after I left the anthill and I came back out, that evening went home, the next morning when I came out, the ants had all moved from that pile by the sidewalk up to where I said they could go, and they started making a new little pile. When the city came and destroyed the sidewalk in that whole area, not an ant was hurt, not an ant was killed. Do you know why? God empowered me in my love to become like they were so that they would eventually hear my voice and they could be saved.
So once again, could that have happened? Sure. Or maybe he did pray to God and God did help the ants move and he just kind of spiced up the story. All I know is that if my pastor ever told me a story like that, I think I'd need to find a new church. I'll leave the full sermon below. This story starts at about the 57-minute mark. So, as always, feel free to leave your thoughts and comments below, and until next time, take care and God bless.